Oh, yes. This is why I didn't want to do, I need the lights off, the bright lights. I'm so sorry, but I am about to get on. Bernard, I need you to turn these off. These that are killing me. Hang on 1 second, everybody.
No, we should put the computer up on it.
Yes, yes, we should have. Yes. Okay, everybody. I'm not that dark.
It's too dark.
Just a minute. Okay, everybody, I'm sorry about that. I am in a TV studio getting ready to go on Cuomo. And so I had all those studio lights on me and I couldn't see myself or see you guys.
I'm about to go on CNN, walk to the studio with me, but also look at this. I don't know if you saw this. It's bad. It's really bad. If you can, you should go watch the video of, it's Katie Porter, who is running for governor of California. And she really doesn't want to be asked this question about how she's going to win Trump voters in a state. And then more's coming out, because of course it is. Because of course it is. Once someone breaks the seal on this stuff, more's only going to come out. So you've got this one now. And I'm sure it's not going to be the only one. I'm sure staffers of hers, political opponents, I'm sure journalists, sure they've got it all. This is bad for several reasons. One, she looks like a total jerk. And, you know, she's had that reputation. That's not great. It's definitely not disqualifying in today's day and age, but it's not great. She looks like a bully and a jerk. The worst part for me is saying the quiet part out loud, which is that, yeah, she doesn't need Trump voters to win. Of course she doesn't. It's California. Of course she doesn't. But you're running to be the governor of the whole state. Wouldn't you at least want to say, you know, I can probably win without them, but I'm going to reach out to every voter. My message is meant to be heard by every voter. It's not just for Democrats. I'm not just going to be the governor of Democrats, but I'm going to be the governor of Trump fans and independents and progressives and moderates. That's what you say.
Boy. So we got to follow up on the story out of California, the California's governor's race. Which lunatic is going to lead California is the question at this point. Involving Katie Porter, who seems to be the most deranged of the lunatics, who is getting exposed as somebody that is not very nice to work with, right? Or to be married to, apparently, because she has been accused of domestic violence by her husband. And it kind of makes sense considering how videos are now going viral of her raging at her staffers after a video went viral of her rage quitting an interview, a CBS interview, a softball question, by the way. She completely lost her mind, okay? And I think it shows that she is not fit for politics. I'm sure there's a lot of things she's not currently fit for, but, you know, politics, she seems to have a lot of anger management issues. A lot of people are saying, well, if you can't handle a simple interview, how can you handle being the governor of California, right? And I think that those are legitimate questions. And surprisingly, liberals are actually turning on this woman, right? Liberals are the ones that are expressing outrage. And a lot of people are saying that she's in big trouble.
We've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that,
well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't care.
Our list.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there. The state could lose. Get out of my shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect.
Okay. You also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot.
Oh. I'm not giving away my shot, not giving away my. You know,
maybe she's having a menopausal
well, she's
moment.
you know, listen, anything is possible, but she.
Clear line between getting frustrated and directing it at someone else. Meaning, I've had a bad day where I'm like, effity, but when you're yelling at people, which the examples, Bill Riley, Laura Ingraham, Katie Porter, you are telling me a little more something. And I'm not saying it's unforgivable, but I do think that you are running for the 4th largest economy in the world as governor of California. You are going to be the figurehead of the liberal leaning left in California, you will be under direct attack at all times. Part of what she was known for was the whiteboard when she handled really important questions and could handle herself. She was unflappable. In these moments, I don't think it's as simple as you're having a bad day. I actually think she needs to do better, not in gratitude, but in respect to other people in the workplace.
Let me just say it like this. You know, in a perfect world, yeah. But human beings have bad days, and human beings are not always capable of realizing that they're stepping in poo.
They'd interview congressional staff anonymously, and it was kind of their way to talk about if they had toxic bosses. And she would always rank very high on the list of bosses who treated staff terribly. She had super high staff turnover. And to me, that matters. How you treat people who are working around the clock for low pay for you says a lot about you. We've all had bad days. People can find me being rude. But also, that was a journalist asking totally fair questions, doing her job. If you can't answer those questions, you shouldn't be governor. And she, by the way, she did sit through the rest of the interview and eventually finished it. But that is the job to represent 39 million people in my
So
home
how
state.
come every time Trump has a meltdown, his popularity increases?
He's a very unique force in America.
Yeah, so I think that this woman definitely pissed in some Democrats' Cheerios because there's been more and more and more videos, more content, more stories being released about this woman being a complete and total unhinged, deranged person, which, you know, I think is pretty commonplace within the Democrat Party, right? I really believe that this is what Democrat Party voters want, right? This is what they like. That's why I'm surprised that you have so many liberals that are distancing themselves from this, right? I mean, liberals are more embarrassed about this than they are about Jay Jones in Virginia threatening or fantasizing about killing Trump supporters, right? It's funny how that works. So without further ado, let's listen to MSNBC cover this woman. And again, surprisingly, there's going to be a lot of criticism.
Races are heating up from a contentious New Jersey gubernatorial debate last night to a now viral interview. That TV interview with former Democratic Congresswoman Katie Porter, who's running for California governor.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
We've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Thank you.
What she's saying is that I don't really need them, right? I don't really need them, okay? I don't need them. F them. That's what she's actually saying.
Conventional wisdom, Julie, is that one viral moment can change the trajectory of a campaign. Is that one of those moments?
It's not a good look. And as somebody who runs a nonprofit dedicated to good workplace behavior, that's not modeling good behavior. It's not a workplace issue, but she does have workplace behavior issues, according to the former staffers. Look, why can't we just treat people with respect? You don't have to emulate Donald Trump at everything. You don't have to sit there and treat a reporter who's doing her job like she works for you. She doesn't, right? You're a journalist. You get to ask whatever questions you want. I'm not going to rip my mic off if I don't like your follow-up questions. The reality is, if you don't want to do it, just don't do the interview. But if you've committed, you've got to do it. It shows that she's not into transparency. It shows that she's not into respect. It shows that she's not up to the task of governing a state of millions and millions of people.
Wow, you go that far.
I do. Listen, I don't know where her policies are. I'm not from California. I don't pay much attention to California. But I do pay attention to something like this. And if somebody is going to treat a fellow constituent this way, maybe this is not the job for them.
Wow. Wow. Again, there's more pushback against this woman than there is against Jay Jones fantasizing about killing Republicans. That's where we're currently at in our modern day state of politics, guys. The Democrat Party. This is more her being a me. Don't be wrong. She's definitely showing that she's not a good leader, right? But come on, right? Like, you have people that are afraid to just come out and say straight up, hey, Jay Jones needs to resign, right, as attorney general. But they have no problems going off on this woman, right, for being mean to a reporter and her staffers, which, by the way, again, I think is pretty bad. I think that this is disqualifying, to be honest with you. But liberals seem to be more upset about this than they were about Charlie Kirk getting assassinated, right? Again, or Jay Jones or the assassination attempts against ICE. It's just very fascinating.
Tara, once a viral moment happens, people go digging, right? And Politico has just released a video of Porter kind of tearing into a staffer during an interview she did 4 years ago. Take a listen to that.
We're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems. And the state could lose. Get out of my shot. You also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot. Okay, I'm going to start again.
Look, it's uncomfortable to watch, as was the first one. But here's my question.
Hey, sometimes you got to lay it down like that, though, right? I mean, when somebody is in your shot, right, if they are, you know, in the vicinity and they know what you're doing and they walk in front of the camera anyways, right, not checking to make sure, okay, wait, I'm not in the shot, right? Like, it's like, yeah, I mean, I get it, right? I understand why she pissed off.
Would the reaction be different if the candidate was a man? Is there still a double standard for women in politics, or is this just bad?
Here we go. Here we go. Instead of just calling a spade, oh, is there a double standard here? Right? I mean, come on. I don't think there's a double standard. I just think this woman is, again, she has anger issues.
Well, first, let me say that as a former Hill staffer, no one should ever be treated that way. I was fortunate enough to never be treated like that on the Hill, but these are not rare occurrences. You hear about this all the time, how members mistreat their staff, and there's a reputation around the Hill and people find out about it. I think it's bad all the way around, and people need to be responsible for their own.
Yeah, like Sheila Jackson Lee. Y'all remember her? Okay. She used to curse out her staffers. Okay. Apparently she was notorious for how she treated her people. Again, this may be a woman problem, right?
Behavior. Now, is there a double standard? Are women treated differently? Absolutely. All you have to do is look at how Hillary Clinton was treated when she ran for president versus Donald Trump. Look at how Kamala Harris was treated last year against Donald Trump. Look at the way the media treats people in the administration, like Stephen Miller, who can have a meltdown on television, or Donald Trump threatening people constantly, or Tom Homan, the ICE czar, the border czar, and the nasty things he says. Go down the list of men who behave badly, but are seemingly rewarded for that with more power.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they are criticized. MSNBC, they criticize them. I don't think I've seen Trump, Stephen Miller, or Tom Homan act like Katie Porter, right? Like, I don't think I've actually seen that, right? I don't think I've seen that. I haven't seen them flip out like that. But regardless, that's besides the point, right? If you're against it, if you think it's wrong for her to do that, then just say it's wrong. I don't understand the need to throw Trump in this, right? Like, what does Trump have to do with what this woman did, right? Because Trump doesn't, you might think Trump acts like that, but I don't think Trump acts like that, right? I don't think I've seen Trump flip out like that. Now, yeah, there are moments where, you know, you might curse or you might show some anger, but, you know, the only time I've ever seen Trump do that are in moments where legitimately it kind of makes sense. Like, for example, when he got upset about Israel and Iran continuing to attack each other, and then he basically cursed on the lawn, right, about how they didn't know what the F they were doing. I think it actually makes sense to flip out in a situation like that when you're trying to stop a war, right? When you try to stop a war, I think it makes sense, okay, to show some emotion in the heat of an ongoing situation like that, right? But when you talk about doing an interview, being asked about getting other people's votes, Trump supporters' votes, people who disagree with you getting their vote, or getting super mad because your lighting's not correct or somebody walked into your frame or whatever, like her losing her mind like that and doing it all the time, right? It's one thing if you see it like super rare, but it's another when like it's so prevalent, right? That again, you have these videos that are coming out over and over and over again, exposing her. Yeah, I think it's a different thing. I think we're dealing with somebody who has legitimate anger management problems, right? So again, I don't understand the comparisons to Trump, right? I don't think Trump is angry all the time. Like, I don't really see what these people are talking about, but that's what they're going to do, right? They can't criticize a Democrat and just say, hey, she's wrong, or we disagree with this, without dragging in Trump, right? Without saying, well, see, but Trump, right? It's like Trump, again, has nothing to do with this. What they actually should be focused on is the fact that this woman is a complete and total psychopath outside of having, anger management problems. I mean, look at the things that she believes in, some of the things that she said on national television.
So on election night, I went to pick up my daughter from water polo practice, and she's 12, and she got in the car and she was crying. And I said, did someone punch you? Like, water polo is a rough sport. I was like, did someone hit you? Did the coach yell at you? What happened? And she said, Mom, Trump won. Trump's going to win. And what if I get raped and I need to have an abortion? This is from a 12-year-old, my 12-year-old daughter. And so it was really a reminder of how scary this time is for people, and how important it is for Democrats to have strategies, both at the state level and the federal level, to make sure that we can continue to protect people's rights.
President Biden has said that inflation is the #1 priority for the Biden White House to try to get under control right now. As you're out there in California talking to constituents during this re-election year for Congress, how does inflation compare to this newly important, in the sense of the Supreme Court decision pending, abortion issue? How do those two issues compare?
Well, I don't think they compare. I think they actually reinforce each other. So the fact that things like inflation can happen and it can become more expensive to feed your kids and to fuel your car is exactly why people need to be able to be in charge of how many mouths they're going to have to feed. So I think the fact that we're seeing this jump in expenses, that we're seeing people having to pay more in the grocery store, pay more at the pump, pay more for housing, is a reason that people are saying, I need to be able to make my own decisions about when and if to start a family. So I don't think we're going to see them. I don't think it's like about comparing them or contrasting them. I think they reinforce for people just how big of a responsibility it is to take care of a family. I rise today to highlight how anti-transgender campus policies hurt students' well-being. In September, the Orange Unified School District became the 6th school district in California to adopt a forced outing policy. As young people are growing up, these harmful mandates expose students for something as simple as going by a different name without considering whether they are safe at home. More than half of transgender youth contemplate suicide due to a lack of support from their family or community. Schools should be places where students can focus on learning, free from fear. As a single mom of 3, I rely on public schools to help my kids mature into thoughtful and confident citizens, and I oppose misguided policies that endanger LGBTQ+ Americans. I urge all California schools to stand up for trans students and protect the safety of queer youth.
Yeah, so to me, I think that matters more to her anger management issues, right, that she has. The fact that, again, her policies are really, really, really bad. But then again, I kind of think that this whole scandal is honestly going to help her in a state like California. And the reason why I say that is because Katie Porter just seems like the type of liberal woman that liberal women would vote for, right, and support. Like, you know, an abortion extremist, super pro LGBTQ, overweight, grotesque looking, like pale. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the type of woman that specifically a liberal white woman would love to support, right? And Katie Porter seems to fit that Karen profile, right, all too well, that she can probably get the Karen vote, right? Like the liberal Karen vote. Yeah, she got that on lock. And, you know, my gut feelings, I just think that they're going to be like, yeah, this is what we want, right? We want a bitchy woman, right? That's exactly who we want, okay? We're not going to punish her for acting like a man would act, right? Because a man wouldn't face punishment, so we're going to reward her for it, right? That's how they think. That's their logic. So I personally believe it might actually help her in a Democrat primary, to be honest with you, again, despite the backlash. Because, again, these are the type of people that Democrats want. In the base, this is what they want. They want these type of people, right? Because their excuse is, well, see, Trump can do it, and we need our own Trump, right? Like, that's always the excuse. And, you know, that's what they use to justify electing these Looney Tunes. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.